Hello everyone, this is Anu from the Australian Academy, and today I am going to discuss with you one of the most relevant and the most recurring essay of PTE. The topic is, in today's world, different government and international organizations are confronting many problems. What is the most pressing problem among them? And you have to give their reasons, effects and solutions. So the main purpose of the question is ki what are the problems that the current global scenario is facing, and since we can see it is written is, so we have to mention only one basic most relevant problem, and then you have to elaborate the reasons, effects and the solutions of those problems. So as you know, there are four basic parts of an essay. First is the introduction, then body paragraph 1 followed by body paragraph 2, and then finally the conclusion. The introduction will comprise of a small introduction to the problems, which is due to industrial revolution and technological advancement. These are the reasons because of which the world is facing so many problems. We have devastated the Mother Earth. That means we have caused harm to our Mother Earth, as a result of which there are many global issues. Global means concerning the entire world, and one of the most relevant is global warming. And mind you, this particular essay has been coming almost on an alternate day basis. So please think that you have to focus on this particular essay. The following paragraphs would discuss or highlight the details. So first of all, we will focus in our body paragraph 1, what are the reasons and the effects, and the solutions with examples will come in the body paragraph 2. Though I have enlisted over here a number of reasons or effects. You may choose any few of them which you are comfortable with. Okay. The major reason is overpopulation. That means that there is an explosion of population, the number of people are increasing, as a result of which our natural resources are being exhausted. Second thing is excessive deforestation. What is the meaning of deforestation? It means excessive cutting of trees, which is being done due to aggressive human encroachment. That means the humans want more and more space, so that is why they are just destroying the green belt, as a result of which there has been a radical change in the climate of our earth. Another reason could be the toxic emissions. Toxic means which is harmful for you. Emissions it has led to the increase of greenhouse gases like carbon monoxide, which is very poisonous. From what is the source of these gases? The industrial smoke or the vehicular pollution and burning of fuels. As a result, due to these activities, the industrial activities, the vehicular pollution and the burning of fuels, it increases the concentration of these toxic gases, particularly carbon monoxide, as a result of which the overall temperature of the earth is increasing. Next is indiscriminate industrialization. That is, a number of industries are being set up. Indiscriminate means uncontrolled. That means without giving it a thought, people are just setting up industries. Commercialization. Earlier, people used to think that we have to maintain a green patch in and around us. But now, what people think is there is no use of keeping the lands barren or keeping the forest cover. It's better to graze them down and then set up any industry. Urbanization is also developing modern cities. Most of the people, they don't want to stay in villages. They are all attracted towards the urban, that is the city areas. Due to this, there has been an extreme change in the weather events like floods and droughts. Earlier, there were very few instances of these calamities, but now they have become quite common. Another reason is due to this high temperature. As we see, due to the increase in concentration of carbon monoxide, the overall temperature has increased, as a result of which the glaciers are melting. When these glaciers melt, the water content that flows down increases the sea levels and the land area gets shrunk. Last of all, the human activities have disturbed the ecological balance. What is the meaning of balance or equilibrium? That means earlier everything was in a balanced state, but since due to these industrialization, commercialization and deforestation and all these activities, sooner or later the entire balance of our ecology has been disrupted. Now that we have discussed the reasons, effects, now we will discuss what are the solutions. How can we tackle the problem of global warming? The first of all is implementation of stringent, that is the strict laws by the government. Unless until government frames any strict rules and regulations, people are not going to follow. So the first step is that the government should formulate certain rules and regulations so that people are made aware that they should not harm their Mother Earth. Then these days 3 R's, that is reduce, reuse and recycle, is very important. We must reduce the consumption of resources which are exhaustible, and we should try to reuse them. It's not just like we should employ the use and throw policy. We should try to reuse whatever resources we can, and then we should attempt recycling of resources. These are known as the 3 R's. Then basic main concentration of carbon monoxide is increased by the vehicular pollution. So we must redesign the transportation system, that is we must substitute the petrol driven. Petrol is an exhaustible resources, it cannot be renewed. So we must focus on hybrid or electrical vehicles which are more eco-friendly as compared to the petrol or the diesel versions. And moreover, people should focus on carpooling rather than everybody going out with their own individual means of transport. They should focus on carpooling. That also can reduce the amount of concentration of pollution in air. Then we must focus, like deforestation is the major reason for global warming. We should focus on plantation of trees, which is known as afforestation. As long as we are planting more trees, we are still able to save our Mother Earth and we can reduce the temperature of the Earth. Then the basic step is to create an awareness and a sense of responsibility. Unless until you feel it from within that it is your duty, it is your responsibility to do your minimum effort to save this Earth or to stop the increase in global temperature, nothing can be achieved. Then in the conclusion, how can we say what can be done? It is actually both the government and every individual must work in unison. Unison, that is in harmony. They must work together to defeat the menace of global warming. Alone the government cannot do anything. Alone an individual cannot do anything. Every effort counts. But when both will work in harmony, then we can see a significant increase in the results. For this paragraph, you can use some good vocabulary words, because if you are using good vocabulary words, then obviously your sentence structure and the overall beauty of your statement increases. So in case we have to write increase, in one part we can write increase, other passage may you can write hike or upsurge. They all means the increase. Similarly, compelling. Compelling may in the sense ki if you have to write the implementation of compelling laws, you can say strict or mandatory or compulsory, which are all mean the same. Then when we are talking about renewable resources or exhaustible resources, so every time instead of using resources, you can use the word assets or reserves, because if you are using the same words again and again, then it gets very repetitive. So it would be always advisable that you should use a variety of vocabulary words. But keep one thing in mind, that unless and until you are sure of the meaning of that word, then only you should use, otherwise it will not be effective. Certain idioms can also improve the quality of your language. For example, the need of the hour. This you can implement in conclusion. So the need of the hour is that the government and individuals should work in harmony. Now another idiom that you can focus on is too dire to ignore. It means that the problem is so severe that it cannot be ignored. So while you are listing the reasons or the effects of this particular problem, you can say that it is the problem of global warming is too dire to ignore. Similarly, you can use burning issue. Burning issue means that the problem is very, very important. It cannot be ignored. So while in your introduction, when you are naming the problem, you can use these idioms and then you can just beautify the structure of your essay. If you have any doubts, please let me know. Thank you so much.